Have you ever heard a building sing? Not just creak or groan, but truly sing, howl, or even scream. It sounds like something out of a ghost story, but this is a very real and very loud architectural mystery. Imagine living next to a skyscraper that, on a windy day, produces a haunting, deafening whistle that echoes for miles. This isn't a supernatural event. It's a fascinating and sometimes terrifying intersection of weather, physics, and human design. Today, we're diving into the strange world of whistling buildings, uncovering why these modern marvels sometimes turn into colossal musical instruments, and exploring the brilliant engineering required to silence them when wind flows past a bluff body, like a cylinder or, in our case, a tall building. It can create alternating low-pressure zones or vortices on the downwind side. Shed. As these vortices are shed from either side of the building, they create a fluctuating force, causing the structure to vibrate. If the frequency of this vortex shedding matches the building's natural resonant frequency, the vibrations can become dramatically amplified. This is the same principle that makes a flute work. Why? You can create a tone by blowing over the top of a bottle. The building itself becomes a giant wind instrument. One of the most famous examples is the Beetham Tower in Manchester, England, a distinct B-flat note that could be heard across the city during high winds. The sound was traced back to the decorative glass blade at the top of the tower. The wind hitting this specific architectural feature was creating the eerie noise. The Beetham Tower became a textbook case study in what can go wrong when aerodynamic effects are fully considered in a building's design. But it's not just decorative elements that can cause problems. The shape of the building itself, its orientation to prevailing winds. When wind is funneled through a narrow space between two buildings, its speed increases dramatically. This is just like putting your thumb over the end of a hose to make the water spray faster. Yet, in a dense urban environment, the gaps between skyscrapers can become powerful wind tunnels. Residents in the area reported a terrifying, screeching sound during typhoons. The noise was so loud and unsettling that videos of it went viral. Engineers discovered that the noise was generated by wind passing through small architectural fins on the building's podium levels. During a powerful typhoon, the sheer speed and force of the wind turned these seemingly insignificant features into a massive, city-scale whistle. The solution, again, involved retrofitting these elements to change how they interacted with the wind. So, about acoustics and livability. Death. This has led to the rise of a specialized field, wind engineering. Before a skyscraper is even built, detailed models are created and tested in massive wind tunnels. They can simulate everything from a gentle breeze to a once-in-a-century storm. These tests help identify potential hotspots for noise generation long before construction begins. The shape of the building is the first line of defense. You might notice that many modern super talls aren't just simple rectangular boxes. They have tapered profiles, rounded corners, or twisted facades. The Burj Khalifa, for instance, has a stepped, spiraling design. These features aren't just for aesthetics. They're crucial for confusing the wind. By constantly changing the building's profile as it rises, these designs prevent the formation of those powerful, organized vortices, eerie. Other strategies involve adding porous elements or spoilers, like the ones on a race car, to break up the airflow and dissipate its energy harmlessly. Inside many of the world's tallest buildings, you'll find a massive piece of equipment called a tuned mass damper. When the wind starts to push the building and make it sway, the tuned mass damper swings out of phase, effectively pushing back against the motion, while its primary job is to prevent uncomfortable swaying for the occupants. 2. It also plays a role in dampening the very vibrations that could lead to audible humming or whistling. Taipei 101 has one of the most famous tuned mass dampers, a massive golden orb that is itself a tourist attraction. The phenomenon of whistling buildings is a powerful reminder that our builder environment is in a constant dialogue with the natural world. The wind, an invisible and often unpredictable force, can interact with our creations in ways we might not expect. Vought begins as a blueprint for a gleaming new tower can end up as an urban legend, a building with a voice of its own. It is a testament to the power of nature and the ingenuity of the engineers who work to understand and tame it. They're choreographing a delicate dance between steel, glass, and the air itself. Every sleek, silent skyscraper you see is a victory of design, a quiet testament to the lessons learned from its noisier predecessors. Sure. The next time you're in a big city on a windy day, listen closely. You might just hear the subtle, or not so subtle, music of the architecture around you. These whistling buildings aren't haunted. They're simply singing a song written by the wind and played on an instrument made of our own ambition. It's a strange, beautiful, and sometimes scary symphony of the modern city. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into one of architecture's most fascinating mysteries. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. See you in the next video.